Hey guys, Peter here to tell you about the latest from Entheos, An End to Everything, out October 25th on Metal Blade Records. This EP has 5 tracks, 19 minutes in length, and it's the band's second. They are an American technical progressive death metal band. When it comes to this EP, I don't find that this release fits the mold. When I think of EPs, I think of 2 or 3 new songs, maybe a B-side from a different release, an obscure release maybe, some live tracks, some remakes, some covers. That kind of idea is what an EP normally tends to be. It's bands putting some extra material together and packaging it all together and giving it to the fans almost like in between records, just for fans to have something to digest, for something to be out there, to stay connected with a fan base. This one is completely different. First of all, it originates in a place of personal loss. So that is going to have an impact on the songwriting, is going to have an impact on the sound, on the execution, obviously on the lyrical content. Having that as the backdrop allows all of these songs to have an individual perspective, but still stay very connected to one another, creating a more fluid experience, a more connected experience from beginning to end, giving it that full-length record vibe. Like, this is almost side A of a full-length album. That's how it feels, and that's how it's put together. It's got a beginning, middle, and end, which is really important. Once again, something you normally don't see on an EP release. You see that on full-length records. Having that backdrop of loss also going to have an impact on the darkness of these songs. This is a dark and obviously an emotional record. You're going to find that emotion playing a factor in the mood and the vibe that the songs have, and the changes in that mood and that vibe as you progress down the line. So it's a very interesting record from that standpoint. I feel like it has a lot to offer. It showcases the DNA of the band, the more technical side, the more proggy side, without giving anything away as far as the heaviness is concerned. Vocally, it's super dynamic. I really enjoy the clean vocals that are sprinkled throughout. I felt like the clean vocals on this release added to the emotional baggage that the tracks have. They created nice ebbs and flows, and they added a very important spice. They added a very important ripple into what the overall vocal performance could be, and in this case is. So it's an important element that doesn't distort the message. It just kind of adds texture to it, making the songs a little bit more personal, a little bit more palpable. As far as the actual tracks are concerned, let's start off with the opening one, An End to Everything. I think this is one of the best songs this band has ever written, has ever recorded. I love this track. It's technical, it's melodic, it's groovy, it's heavy, it's progressive, it's all the above. It's a song that has a lot of different facets. It has a lot of different momentums built in within it. It has a lot of movement. When you look at how the guitars and bass intertwine sound-wise, makes this a really complex sounding song. The drums offer some cohesiveness to the song. They balance out the chaos that exists, because it's controlled chaos, but there's a sense of chaos in terms of how these energies intertwine with one another. And vocally, the song is absolutely killer. The clean vocals are haunting on this track, and that is a needed element that you cannot put forward with harsh vocals. You just cannot provide me with the same emotional aspect, the same emotional texture that you're going to get out of these clean vocals. So the clean vocals in this song play a key role, a fundamental role in how the overall song develops and how the overall song is really going to resonate with the fans. But a very dynamic vocal performance all around, in what I consider a masterpiece of a song. Next we have All for Nothing, a heavy track with a very dark undertone that at times it disappears. That menacing undertone that's there from the beginning, it disappears through some moments of the song, but it always finds a way of reappearing, and it never really loses that darkness, that eeriness that is such a key fundamental aspect of how this song is going to hit with the listener. I also like the more proggy execution on the guitar sound. The drums help elevate some of the heaviness of the song, but they also help elevate that progginess that it's present there from a guitar's standpoint. The vocals offer some consistency, at least offer a lot more consistency than you have in the sound, and then they also add to the overall aggression that the song carries. Great guitar sound, overall in the song. I love that underlying darkness that sometimes is not so underlined. It has a great solo. This track has a really great solo that also captures a little bit of the essence of that darkness, that eerie feeling that the song transports. It's definitely there as well in the solo, and the way the track ends is an absolute gunfire barrage of drums and guitars together. Then you have Life in Slow Motion. This is more of a direct song. It's not the most linear and direct song on this record, but it is one of those that you feel like it stays on path for the majority of the time. It feels very compact. It has a little bit of a bigger sound. I wouldn't say that it's dense, but it definitely has some thickness to it, some substance to it. And then you have some breaks that are infused within the song that allows the track to breathe a little bit better, and it allows the song to become a little bit easier to digest, a little bit easier to process. Even in the heavier moments, there's always a sense of ebbs and flows. There's always the right pockets at the right time where the song opens up a little bit and it doesn't feel as narrow. It also has a great solo. The clean vocals help reset this track, and the overall song has a great progressive vibe to it. In the sound, in the atmosphere, in the music, in the vocals, it's a great song all around. Then you have 1,000 Days. Now this song has a great chugging riff, and that chugging riff gives size to the track. It really helps give size to the track. The vocals are heavy. There are some layers on the vocal side that also help those vocals gain some size. So it's a song that, from a riffing perspective, you have size there, but then from a vocal performance standpoint, you're also adding size there. So it's a song that has a lot of size on both sides of the spectrum. The technical side also of the sound, mixed in with the proggy side of the sound, creates a very interesting experience. The song, it's not fully technical death metal, it's not fully progressive death metal. It's somewhere in between those two genres, taking bits and pieces of one and another, and then weaving them together to create a very unique tapestry that it is the sound of this track. I love the sound of the bass on this song. I felt like it had a great impact, specifically more on the proggy side. It really helps develop that side of the sound, and then you have the guitars perhaps developing a little bit more of the technical side. But the two combine extremely well to create that very robust tapestry. The vocals in the chorus are very unique to this song. It's a very specifically almost like screaming delivery that you're only going to find on this track, also helping set the song apart and giving it its unique fingerprint. Last but not least, Return to Me. I would say this is one of those that hits hard, and it's perhaps the most compact linear song that this record offers. It never deviates. It has an idea of where it's going. It understands the path that it needs to take, and it stays on it. It feels simple. It's a track that doesn't try to do too much. Perhaps the least technical, the least proggy song on this entire release, the most direct song, where the heaviness of the sound is there to make you feel something, to bring emotions into the forefront, and then it stays compact and on point throughout. Now there is changes in terms of aggression and melancholy. This is a track that brings those two perspectives, those two emotions into the table, and sometimes you feel a little bit more connected with the aggressive side of the song. Sometimes you connect a little bit more with the melancholic side of the song, but there's a way of blending them together in a way that still keeps the song on point, direct, simple, effective, carrying the message all the way to its destination. I love that the record, or the EP I should say, finishes off on this note, because having a song like this finishing off, it allows you to have almost a sense of finality to a certain extent. It's not a song that overcomplicates things, and at the end you don't want to feel like there is a cliffhanger. You don't want to feel like something is unfinished. This song kind of gives you a sense of things being over. The simplicity that it offers helps define that emotion, that perception. This is at Entheos, An Into Everything, on October 25th on Metal Blade Records. Let me know your thoughts on the songs. Hit me up in the comment section, and I'll see you all at the next one. Take care, guys.